But as I run over the peak of the hill and then tumble down the slope, I can make out a figure running my way in the broad clearing. And I would know him from a mile away. And suddenly, nothing seems to matter anymore. All my questions, doubts, and suspicions instantly disappear as a pure ecstasy consumes my heart. And even if I don't have powers anymore, my legs still seem to run a mile a minute as I know that he is on the other side waiting for me. This was never goodbye. And we finally here, in a rather large forest. Not knowing quite where we are or where we are going, much less where we are even going to start. Yet nothing else has ever felt so right. Not in my entire life, with all the shards coming together to form a beautiful picture of a perfect world. I choose you. Immediately we reach for each other, searching for the warmth that only the other person provides. It's good to see you again. I say laughingly into his ear, stroking his arm. He doesn't answer immediately, crushing my body in a tight embrace with his lips dancing down my neck. He finally lifts his head, his eyes sparkling with mirth. I don't really understand anything, but one minute I am about to get killed by this one lame shifter and the next I am sitting in a green field with a strange urge to go north. But the best part is, I don't even care about how strange this may be because somehow I still have you. I don't understand much either. I say softly. But let's try to understand together. Here's what I know so far. We are somewhere on Earth, we are free of the prophecy, and our friends are alive as well. We only have to find them, even Ray, he asks, a hint of nervousness in his voice. My breath catches for a moment, and then I try to keep calm as I form an answer. He seems to guess what I'm about to say from my hesitation, and shakes his head slowly. Ray is in heaven, staring at us from above. He is having the time of his life right now. I just know it. I smile into the clouds, knowing that this has to be true. Ray is priceless to us, even with the web of lies he spun, and he will be within our hearts forever. Xavier looks at me for a minute, and then bows his head, closing his eyes. So, where are the others? Xavier asks quietly. He rubs my back in slow, circular motions as we briefly dwell in our remembrance of Ray. We stand there for a few minutes, absorbing the fact that Ray is happy and that he wants us to find our own happiness as well. I don't know. But that is what we need to do first. Let us find them, and then we can create our new future. I finally say determinedly. Let us not lose anyone else. Both of our expressions brighten, and I grab his hand and squeeze it tightly. Our friends could be anywhere, but with our combined, probably obnoxious willpower I know we will reunite with them quickly. We will find them. Xavier agrees. We can lose anyone else. But then his expression brightens and he smiles devilishly. But this comes first. He tackles me, pushing me to the ground while his arms snake around to protect my back from the impact. I can contain an annoying, rather girly yelp as he moves to trap me in the thick grass, his hands on either side of my head and his torso draped over my own. I am so thankful for you that I just want to show a bit of my appreciation. He says sweetly. So let me begin with a few bites of my one and only lady. Leaning down, he captures my bottom lip in his teeth, coaxing my mouth open. I shiver in anticipation as he nibbles at my lip before moving in for a tender kiss. Xavier, no one will see us. He slightly growls. And if they do, let them watch. I've been waiting patiently for you and for this. He reaches for my shoulder and his fingers dance around my shirt sleeves as he kisses me again. Overwhelming euphoria mounts as the simple kiss grows in breathless intensity. Gently sliding my neckline to stretch over my shoulder, his hand moves to my collarbone, and then trails down teasingly to my waist. I helplessly moan in frenzied protest and he stops suddenly, staring at me. Are you saying you don't want this? He asks, the hint of a smile at the corner of his mouth. I just having lost the words. I just stare back at him, desire gnawing at my reservations. What was I trying to say? I don't even remember anymore. I am going to wait until you say it. Xavier shrugs, slowly twisting his body to the side, away from me. At the movement, the sudden loss of warmth jerks me into action and I grab his arm nervously. I manage to choke out. Immediately looking to the side so he doesn't see my embarrassment. As soon as I move my head his hand snakes out to the side of my face, forcing me to meet his gaze. What do you want? Mona, he asks softly. Teasingly. His other hand slides up my waist to my shoulders, slyly tugging at the thin fabric. This is just too much. I've just about had enough of this. Come here, I mumble, jerking his head downwards in a sudden movement and forcing him to meet my lips. No more games, because this is real. And he knows it too, moving furiously, both of us wishing to stop time as we drown in each other's passion. Yet time does pass, the sun falling on our first day of a new life that shines with the brightness of a happy future. And even though this time around we have no assurances or guarantees, it still feels better this way. Because regardless of where we are or what happens to us, we are home and will always belong to each other. This is only the beginning. Thanks for reading. Email me at rayasbeast4ever@gmail.com if you have any questions or want to be updated as I release new works and information about A Howl in the Night. Please comment, favorite, or friend me if you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Included below is a sample of my brand new book, To Taste the Fruit. If you're interested, you can find it on my page. Thank you. Sample of To Taste the Fruit. To Taste the Fruit by Lorelei Sutton. 1. It feels so good to be back. I flip my brown hair as I sharply turn the wheel, directing my glistening Corvette onto the beaten path. I pound the gas pedal, making the car roar with life and energy. The speedometer increases by 10, 20, 30. Music pours out of the booming speakers, reverberating around the shiny interior. I start to hum the words, rolling down both windows and letting the wind beat against my face. My body relaxes as the chill embraces my skin, raising some goosebumps on my pale but muscled arms. Now that I am almost at Sunny Valley, I can finally stop looking so much like a vampire. I can finally go back to my real life. It feels so thrilling to know that I am free. I have been liberated from the chains of the city, and more importantly, my mother. No more will I ever have to put up my skateboard or have a cigarette yanked out my hands. Here, no one will care about what I do and don't do. No one will attempt to control my life. The thought brings a smile to my face, and I cut my eyes to the overhead mirror. Scanning the area, I make sure I am completely alone on the dirt pathway, with no buildings or cars in sight. The trees are sparse, though towering over the grass and shrubs. Surely there is no one hiding around here. Satisfied, I lift my hands from the wheel and into the air, letting the truck drive itself. My smile stretches to about a mile long, and a yell of exhilaration escapes my throat. I can do what I want to do. There is no one here to stop me. I can get whatever or whomever I want. And I plan on taking it all. The whole town is mine, along with anything within it. Including her. An image appears in my mind, overwhelming all else. Silky blonde hair framing a heart-shaped face, with dark brown eyes and perfectly shaped lips. I cannot deny that meeting her again is what I am most looking forward to. After years of regret, of staring out of the dark windows in my prison at the stars, she was the one mistake that I could never forget. No one else has compared to her beauty. No one else has ever understood me. I should have kept a tighter grip on her instead of pushing her away. But one thing I have learned over the years is that it is never too late. And I plan on everything going exactly back to how it was before I left. Sunny Valley is such a pitiful town. It probably hasn't changed at all anyways. A flash of color appears before me, and I snap to attention. My feet slam on the brakes and the car swerves, the wheel turning uncontrollably. I grab the wheel within a few seconds, and hold it still with all my might. Nearly thrown into the windshield as the brakes desperately tried to slow the vehicle, the car finally screeches to a stop. It takes a few seconds for me to realize my eyes are closed, and a few seconds more for my heart to start beating again. The first thing I see when the blurs around me solidify is a white, wooden surface. Rugged with age, the sign is covered in dirt and markings. I eventually distinguish the word Sunny Valley from the midst of love professions and unrecognizable pictures. In the corner of the sign my name is scratched into it. I remember writing that, years and years ago. Seeing it makes me feel so satisfied. I whip my car around the sign and head straight for home. The speedometer races even higher than it did before. I can't wait to arrive. This is where I belong. Imprint. Text. Lorelei Sutton. Publication date. The 9th of June 2011. All rights reserved.